Hello friends and welcome to my channel. Today we are in fact doing a book shopping vlog. I'm so excited. I just finished Glint last night and I desperately need to start Gleam, and I'm thinking I might want to read part of it physically, but point being I need to buy the book. So we've got a couple places that we're gonna go to. I'm right next to the Second and Charles, which is also right next to the Target. I doubt Target has been out of stock of Gleam for some reason, so I doubt Target's gonna have it. Second and Charles might have it. We're gonna hit both, see what we can find, and then if I can't find it in either, then we just have to go to Barnes & Noble. So darn the luck. There are a couple other things that are also on my to be purchased list. So we're gonna see what kind of damage we can get up to today, and I'm gonna take you along with me. that was insane. I literally cannot believe what just happened. I specifically had a couple things, but I also did have store credit, so I was kind of like, we might just see what we might just see. I think I had like, so here's the story. First of all, okay, so sorry, I'm like flabbergasted by the events that just occurred, in the best way possible. To be spoiler alert, it's a great flabbergast. So I think I had like 45 some odd dollars in store credit from when I just did the unhaul. I'll link that video in the cards if you're curious, but all the store credit that I got back, it ended up being like $45, which is not a lot for how many books I did bring. However, I feel like we just really made some mileage out of the books that we just got. So I walk up to the counter, and she's like, yeah, showing that you don't have any store credit. And I was like, oh no, because they don't give you a receipt. They kind of just put it off of your driver's license number. And so she went ahead and looked it up, and apparently like my customer account was pulling up, and then she went to go use the store credit, and then it was like no account. So there was a weird situation happening. So she brought over her manager, and they like took a couple minutes, and she was like, you know what, I'll go ahead and give you 20% off for standing here as long as you did, but then I'll go ahead and give you the rest of the cash back on the store credit you had, so you don't have to deal with this again. And I was like, okay. So basically, not only did I get 4 books that we'll talk about in a haul at the end, because I'm definitely going to Barnes now because I didn't end up spending money, because I basically got paid $3 to get all of these books. And they're very exciting books that I'm very excited about, clearly. So because I didn't end up spending any money, I do feel like there's a certain little book that I have really been wanting, and I keep not getting it because I'm not really ready to read it, but I also am totally really wanting to read it, and I know that I'm gonna like it when I do read it. So because I do have my 10% discount at Barnes, I'm gonna go. I usually get new books at Barnes, and I also just had my premium whatever membership thing renew, so I gotta go get my free tote bag. It's a great day to be alive, my friends. So I think I might also, there is another book that I am wanting that I really can't decide if I'm gonna get, but it's also so pretty, but I'm also not like obsessed with the book entirely. We'll talk about that later if I end up getting it or not. So I'm not gonna go into Target, but I am gonna go into Barnes across town. I'm half debating going into Ulta because I dropped and shattered one of the eyeshadow palettes I have been really obsessed with lately, and thankfully it's just like one of those like little, the bite-sized elf ones that are like $6. So I'm not really that upset that I dropped it, but like also kind of frustrating because they seem to not just be available everywhere. So I think I'm gonna run into Ulta real quick, take a little break. What time is it? I'm afraid it'll be dark by the time I get out of Barnes, but who knows. We're gonna run to Barnes. What a great day to be alive. Story. The Truffle Elf by Sized eyeshadow palette. I don't know why Elf is just calling my name lately, but it is. However, I'm very excited about this. The Olivia Glamnetic set. I have been eyeing these online for a really long time, and they finally had them in store, and today was the day. So we're doing well today. I wanted to quickly tell you about one of the Christmas books that I saw in Second & Charles, but I didn't actually like talk about. That Christine Behan book. They're 2 little novellas, and they're very like paranormal, backlist, romances kind of thing. One of them's like a magic user, the other one's a werewolf. I'm kind of curious just for the vibes, but I'm not a big holiday romance reader. Like, they're just always really fluffy. I'm not very often in the mood for solely fluffy. I usually like want a little bit of something something. However, I feel like fluffy combined with a little bit of paranormal could be fun. So I borrowed it from the library. So thank you, Second & Charles, for letting me use my local library and prompting me to use it. Anyways, that's all. Okay, off to Barnes. As you can see, we've made it to the Mecca of all things that are good. However, I wanted to quickly give you a little Gleam update. Okay, so I am obsessed. I am having so much fun. I just started it, so I think I'm on chapter like 2 or 3 at this point. However, Where the series is going, I am just giggling. I'm hee-heeing. I'm having the best time. I 100% recommend the audiobooks because it very much so is very character driven. There's not a whole lot of plot. I think if you're reading physically, it's probably going to get a little bit boring because the plot isn't as active. However, you're getting all the characters, and I think that the narrators do both of the voices really well, and I legitimately, like, I am having so much good occurring in my soul, and I feel like this is exactly the kind of book that I have been needing, the exact kind of series I have been needing, where the romance is just so good. These character scenes are so good. I can't wait to see, as we're getting deeper into the series, all of the growth that's going to be occurring, because everyone that I talk to who has read this series always talks about how just immaculate the character growth is. I definitely was very frustrated with characters in book 2, and where we left off, it's giving like the ooh he said what now, the conversations that are happening are very good. I legitimately was so shocked, and there was a certain piece, a literal 2 chapters in, that I had to stop and just like make a face, and then I was getting gas 2 seconds ago, and I squealed, and I was like, wait, sorry. Like, sorry to all the people in the public, I am literally screaming about this book right now, and I recommend it. So that's how Played a Prisoner is going for me at the moment. I know that Gleam gets a lot more into the plot, and I'm seeing that that's definitely the trajectory that we're going into. I feel like we have had a lot of building up until this point, and a lot of character development, and a lot of setup, because people talk about book 1 being a prequel. Book 2 also kind of feels like a prequel. Like, you're definitely setting up this world and this environment and all these people, all these characters, and everything that we're doing, and everything that where we're going with things. And if you haven't already read it, I was looking through my screenshots a couple of days ago. I'd apparently had I had a random TikTok screenshotted of Guild. I screenshotted it in 2020, so this series has been on my TBR for a big fat minute, and I'm so glad that I'm finally here. But I'm also glad that I waited long enough for the audiobooks to be out and about, because I think that's part of what is just really doing it for me. So I'm hopeful to see where the rest of this series goes. I'm feeling really good about it. I think definitely these books have gotten better as they continue to go along. So I'm curious where I've heard both really good things and also like really slow things about Gleam. So I'm curious to see how I'm going to feel about it. But regardless, we're at a really good part in the series, and I am unwell. Anyways, let's go book shopping. I did end up going with the black tote in case you're curious, and I'm very excited about it. However, I also stopped by Target and grabbed a little book, so we're gonna start with that one, and then we're gonna go into whatever's in the bag in this order. Okay, so first of all, okay, so backstory about this book. I have currently read, I think, up to 20% of this book. It's okay. I've heard some not so great things now that I picked it up, and I kind of agree with the not so great things so far. However, this book is just so pretty. The gray and the gold together it just screams like it needs to be here. So even if I don't like it, like worst comes to worst, I can just turn it outwards. So I did ask my friend Val, she has read this book. She said that does get better after the end. So I'm hoping, I've gotten through a lot of the initial bits, we'll say. So I'm hoping that it'll get better, so who knows. But I do have it now. I'm not somebody who normally buys books when I don't like them. Like, that doesn't track. However, I have been looking at this particular book for a very long time, ever since the pre-order released, and it's just like, it's so good. This is so pretty to me that I would consider owning this book without necessarily liking it, though I feel like that threshold is a fairly rare threshold. Anyways, about it. So let's talk about the book that I'm arguably the most excited about out of everything, and the argument's not really that strong of an argument because it is what it is. So when I was in Second and Charles, they had one where the ribbon was like way lower and the dust jacket was kind of busted a little bit, and it was 50% off. But then this one also, come to find out, was 50% off as well. So I'm not really sure. This one's like that too. So the Throne of Glass like verbiage, there's an indent for all of the letters that you really cannot see. Okay, maybe you can kind of see on this G. There's an indent for where the letter's supposed to be, and then the gold. Oliver, sit. Thank you. He's walking around in the shopping bags. The indent for the actual writing versus the gold is a little bit off, so I wondered if that was like, if it was a weird printing thing, but no. But in either case, we do not have Books A Millions here, but whenever they announced this pre-order, I was like, it's pink, it's Throne of Glass, I need it. And I ended up not pre-ordering it, and I'm really glad I didn't because I got it 50% off, so. Where it's gonna go, I do not know, because we're a little out of room. I guess there was like a tiny little tear on the dust jacket, but whatever. I will not be afraid. Okay, so then I was at the register, and they had a used Sorcerer's Stone that was $5.95. The thing with the Harry Potter series is that I have read it. I do own all of the paperbacks down here somewhere, but I did get the Nerdy Ink Slytherin dust jackets for them, but I don't have the book. So I think my plan is to slowly collect the used copies as I see them, because I don't want to just like buy a whole bunch of them all at once, because they're so expensive a lot of times from the places that I have found them. But like, this book is practically brand freaking new, and it was $6. So I figured we could just start small, slowly collect all of them, versus buying like a used box set or something. We'll see where that goes. However, I refuse to buy them new. They are used. I refuse to buy them new for multiple reasons. So this was a good find for me today. I had told myself that I was not going to read this book because I had heard some reviews that this book was absolutely whack. However, this was $4.75, and I was curious about it, and also it is the indie copy, and I'm a sucker for indie fantasy copies. So I did end up getting it, and I figured worst comes to worst, it was $5, and then I unhaul it. But it also was 20% off of that because the very kind lady at the checkout gave me 20% off. So there's that. The one book that I said I was going to get, I actually didn't remember it, because I feel like that's kind of a trend where like you go shopping somewhere and you need one thing and then you get everything but that one thing. I did in fact get that one thing, which I'm kind of surprised about because I was having a hard time finding this in any store anywhere, and I'm also having a hard time finding Glow, but I did see that Barnes & Noble did have Glow, so I'm going to wait until I actually read that, until I buy it, because I know I could get them online, but also it's so much fun to be able to go and get the book that you're actively reading while you're reading it. This deck right here is just pure satisfaction to me. In case you were curious, I have been listening to the Gleam audiobook today. I'm like 6 chapters or so in. I I'm so ready for a certain character to just be completely written off. And I know that if they do that, that'll be the entire plot because all we're talking about are these handful of characters and we can't like get rid of some of the handful of characters, but I'm ready for them to. So that's happening at the moment and I'm very excited to see where it goes though, because we're starting to be in our, what's the word I can say without spoiling this? Independent era, we'll say. And I'm into it. So I'm having a really great time with the series. Okay, and then last two books. Which one do we want to go with first? Okay, let's do this one first. I love Elsie Silver. Okay, she did traditionally publish the Gold Rush Ranch series, and I am going to slowly collect them as they come out for a couple reasons. Mostly because the whole Mountain Spine thing is really doing things for me. I also was able to actually do a pickup order at Barnes & Noble that was ready in all of like 15 minutes, but I was able to get this book combined with another book as a certain buy one get one half off offer, and that other book happens to be okay, I am so beyond thrilled to read this book. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about it. I really love Quicksilver. I'm really hoping that this is kind of going to give the well, that's unfortunate. Can you see this? Okay, well, that's what it is apparently. I'm hoping that it's going to give the fun, spicy, fast-paced-ness that Quicksilver gave. Regardless, I'm so beyond excited to read this book, and this is one book that I really want to get read by the end of the year, so I'm feeling like I've been kind of conflicted about what is my 10 before the end of the year, and I feel like this is one, which I'm imagining that I'm going to film that video, and I'm probably going to post it before I post this video, so if you see this mentioned in that video, I bought it now. Okay, friends, that is all of the books that I managed to haul today. I do want to do kind of a cumulative last half of the year book haul because I have bought a couple other things this year. I feel like I've been doing pretty good, but I'm also a big fan of being able to like pull all the books that I have bought and just make sure that I'm tracking myself, because I always gaslight myself into thinking that I've been doing better than I have, and all of a sudden I've got like a giant stack. So you never know. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed shopping along with me. I definitely needed a day to just get out of the house, go stare at some books, and just like live, laugh, love, and listen to an audiobook that I'm having the absolute best time with. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Go ahead and leave a rose emoji because it needs to happen. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I will catch you in the next one.